Game on! Granit Gaming against Go Next Division S, ladies and gentlemen. We have the rank 1 Granit Gaming going up against Go Next, who's currently in 7th place. And honestly, the entire journey of Go Next this season has been an interesting one. They played multiple tournaments outside of Division S, and they usually end up in the semifinals or even grand final, and have taken down several Division S teams in the process. But when it comes to Division S, they always seem to have trouble in the 5th map to actually close things out. Now they go up against the number 1 in the standings, and this is of course a tall order for them to take down Granit Gaming here. Then again, we are on the newest patch, so there is a chance at least, that will impact the series a little bit here. And Uberak is still banned out. I mean, generally speaking, Muradin seems to be back. There's a few adjustments with Johanna where she seems to benefit from it on maps where she was already powerful before even more. Anna is a little bit nerfed. And just generally speaking, Blizzard has mostly done small changes to the heroes. There are a few exceptions. Again, Muradin gets a lot more functionality on his Sledgehammer on level 4, for example. The Bronze Beard on level 13. So there's definitely a couple of things happening here. But we'll see how that pans out in the competitive scene, at least on the high level here in Europe. So with this, we're having now Tyrael banned out after Zeratul was banned. Leaves our MAIEV, could be banned out too. Zeratul's Cleave was also slightly changed, has now less damage. Still obviously very useful as a hero in general, especially through the Void Prison setup. But now that we're on Dragonshire, I'm still wondering a little bit what happens around Rexxar. I would expect him to be picked here, but MAIEV gets banned out first of all. So now we're looking at our setup, and well, one question that I have is, will Henning still priority pick TYRANDE the way that he did before? And I would assume that the answer is yes. Hasn't really too much changed for that. That hero is still crazy if you have a good team that follows up on the stuns and preps them for you. But is Muradin, for example, going to be a pick in this setup? Where does Rexxar land? HANZO gets picked first. Kelvin specs right into that. And now with the double pick for Granit Gaming, TYRANDE, Rexxar? Is Rexxar important enough for them to drop in top lane? Are they going for a Muradin TYRANDE setup already right at the start here? Trying to get the dwarf in play for Lauber? Or is it something where Lauber says, guys, I don't really care. We can play the dwarf, but if I get the cow or Johanna, I'm totally fine as well. There's TYRANDE. JAINA. Svamkarata. Alright, so with that already established, we have the burst damage to follow all things up here. For HANZO on the other side, we're going to get a couple of friends for him. And what's going next gonna add here? Still looking at the Rexxar pick. Top lane on Dragonshire is normally dominated by him. There's Johanna. Pretty early. And again, I want to see those adjustments. The Hold Your Ground has been adjusted. We have the Eternal Retaliation slightly adjusted on level 4. So there's definitely a lot that can be played now. But keep in mind that Wit has actually played a lot of Johanna even before this. I mean, one of the picks that we see him on a lot is Tyrael, Garrosh, but also Johanna. So might not quite be picked because of those changes, but there is a chance. So we're going to have a look at that. Granit Gaming, then again, they can go for the bans here, and at this point they're getting rid of Dehaka, so no more Dehaka Shakalaka shenanigans at the top side. No globals from this particular game. And Go Next, they could ban out Rexxar if they're worried about that. Or Tracer in this case. Alright, Ty doesn't get Tracer, that's already eliminated. Probably a little bit of a sad panda right now. And let's see, what are we having here? This is really the moment of truth a little bit. And honestly, we're talking a lot about Muradin, but let's not forget that Garrosh, Diablo are still both up here. So it's not like there aren't plenty of heroes to pick that are insanely powerful. But Granit Gaming decides in favor of Muradin and Orphea for Ty. Alright, so Muradin's in play. Gonna see a bit of the action there. Stormbolt Power, my friends. And what are the last two picks? It's interesting, there is still no offlaner picked. And considering that normally on this map you see Rexxar taken just so quickly, this is really quite something. So now an opportunity, but of course Leo is also out there, another fantastic pick. I mean, there's a lot more on the offlane. We're having Thrall these days a lot, but there's the Rexxar pick now finally together with Li Ming for Galaxy. Last but not least for Granit Gaming, what's it gonna be? We have, well, I'm wondering if we're getting something like Imperious, because then you have even more stuns available in those fights. And it's ETC, alright. Fury and ETC, that works with the stuns as well. The power slide together with TYRANDE, with JAINA. Nice setup. And this is Dragonshire, game number 1 in the best of 5 series. So guys, jump in right away and see which team is going to take the lead in this best of 5 series here at Division S. Game number 1, we are on Dragonshire. Granit Gaming on the left in blue and Go Next in red on the right side of the map. And Henning on TYRANDE here, Fury on ETC, Tai on Orphea. We have Lauber on Muradin and Swamkarota on JAINA. And over to the right side of the map, Go Next with Kelvin on Liming, Toulouse on Rexer, Galaxy on Hanzo, Wit on Johanna, and Skynox on Malfurion. Alright, time to shine. I'm actually excited for this one, and here we already have the first adjustment, the Hold Your Ground, recently adjusted by Blizzard. A little bit more impactful, the cooldown reduction definitely kicking in hard for this talent. So, nicely done. With the Iron Skin, you can always be a little bit more aggressive. Again, you give up the Laws of Hope, so it comes at a cost. But it's still a cool talent to have in these cases, especially when there are a lot of stuns on the other side. And that's obviously the case with Muradin, TYRANDE, and ETC. Alright, trying to use that. The level 4 talent will still be interesting, because there can be even more adjustments from Johanna's perspective in this setup. The level 4 on Lauber's side should actually be the Sledgehammer if he goes to spec with that build. At least that's what we can expect here. Now, I want to throw this out right away. Sledgehammer is currently slightly bugged. Blizzard added an additional functionality onto the tool, and now when you pick Sledgehammer and you get a stun against a hero, you get an additional stack for your baseline quest. Not for the perfect storm on level 1, but for the baseline. And therefore, it's much easier to really stack the talent. There's a bit of a bug in right now that's probably going to get hot fixed pretty soon by Blizzard, where you don't actually have to hit a hero, but you can pretty much hit anything, and you get that extra stack. So until you have the baseline completed, that gives you a slight advantage and allows you to stack the talent even quicker. Now, it's not really a massive issue, it speeds up the process slightly, but generally speaking, you committing to that talent already means you will have a very early baseline completed, and afterwards it obviously doesn't add any additional value anymore. But it's something that people have been talking about quite a bit, but as I said, doesn't really play the biggest role. It has an impact, but it's not really game-breaking, I think. Talking about breaking things, yeah, Liming gets broken here as Tai goes in and showcases his Shadow Wall's skills. And that's already one dead hero. They're trying to go for another one. But at least the camp was still stolen away by the team in red. So Go Next with the aggressive play here, get some value, but lose one of their mages in the process. So definitely a bit of a problem. Up to the top lane. We currently have Fury still going up against Toulouse. Already Misha just holding that spot there. Pretty much AFK. Not doing too much there. Level 5 gets, or the level 4 gets currently picked, and in this case we have the Sins exposed again. We're also seeing next to that the charged blast right here. And down here the little fight. Muradin still going into the reverberation. Okay. So that has also been slightly changed as well, as you can see here right now. The reduction on the ability cooldown and stuff like this. I honestly don't really know at this point if Sledgehammer is banned out. There were definitely talks about it, and I heard earlier that Heroes Launch for the amateur scene has banned the talent out. But to my knowledge, in Division S, it's actually not banned. Abuse would probably be punished if you intentionally try and just reduce the cooldown even more against minion stacks. But especially yesterday, it was definitely played on both sides for both teams that were in the game. And as I said, the impact is not that huge. The impact against Lauber, on the other hand, with that little setup was pretty impressive, because that little dwarf thought he could do a bit too much. I mean, as we heard from the Muradin trailer, he's used to kick some ass, but in this case, he got his ass kicked, and that pretty hard. So already a kill against Lulba. And now we're having Tai also in trouble as he's trying to get away here, trying to get a counter kill maybe even. He does a lot of work, but now he gets even more company. Dodges out on Toulouse. Holy shit, I mean, Tai, he's the Juke Master 2000 apparently. Getting 3 heroes low in the process. If anybody else of his team would have rotated over to him, they would have probably been able to get maybe a kill here. That was impressive to say the least. So yeah, nicely done. But again, so with the reverberation, it's really one of those things where the attack speed's slow. I mean, who is that going to be useful for? What are you going to really focus on? It's mostly going to be the auto attackers. But yeah, it's definitely going to be an interesting setup here with the reverberation, especially since I want to see if it affects his choice on level 13. As I said before, we have Bronzebeard mainly taken these days. There's a good stun, there's a good follow-up, and there's a dead wit. Yeah, Johanna was at the end of her wits at this point. How to escape from that situation. It was a pretty dangerous one. And especially Misha, observing that situation, acknowledged immediately that it was an unbearable position for Johanna to be in. She barely got out, but at the end of the day, and then with a Storm Bolt, it turned against her. So yeah, it was impossible to really make a good play happen there, as Coffin Girl went in and delivered the final blow. But with the same result now, we have two kills against 2 kills. We're still seeing Ty attacked here slightly, top side though. That's where Muradin is currently sitting at the side, still seeing the stack against Misha. Yeah, and of course camps are taken out too. They're currently starting to take them on the bottom of the map, both of the teams with the Siege Giants. It's a little bit of a, I don't want to call it really a quiet game, it's not quite that, but they're a bit more defensive, or maybe a bit more cautious than they usually are. Wit in the mid lane needs to play around his Iron Skin, but there's again the control. This is the big thing if you have Rek'Sai against you on the map, that normally you lose the top lane and then it comes down to your 4-man to see if they can win the bottom of the map. If not, you are forced into a defensive position in the middle of the map in the attempt to claim this. Yeah, Lulba again running into the wrong spot here. Stormbolt connects, but so does the axe. And the man with the mask takes down the dwarf, and in comes the first Dragon Knight. Ty is getting pushed back. And I want to remind everybody, this is the number 7 team in the standings against the number 1 team. Ty is trying to get the kills here. HANZO has actually already fallen, which is a bit of a problem. But so far, I gotta admit that Go Next is doing pretty well. They got the early level 10. 3 kills against 3. And this is exactly what I mean. I don't want to say that they can or will win this series. I mean, they might with a good run here, but it's still impressive that the team that is second to last in the standings is still putting up such a fight, especially in the early stages of this particular game here. So as you can tell, there is a lot of potential for Go Next, especially for the future. But normally what we're seeing from Granit Gaming when they fall behind in the early game is a pretty big comeback after level 10 abilities connect, and now that's exactly the case. So we have again the stage dive from ETC here at the top side. Already the slide against Raxas. They're trying to go for that. Fury is trying to make a bit of a play there. The Hunter-Gatherer has also been claimed, and that obviously now means that we're going to soon see the additional armor for Misha and for Rexa here. 14 stacks for Muradin. Level 7 talent. Brought actually to give him the axe still. Skullcracker has been a very popular talent ever since the recent patch because of the increase on the damage output that you get with every 3rd attack to 90%, up from formerly 70, as I believe. And yeah, Muradin still sitting at the side. I'm curious for the 13 talent. That's the one that I'm waiting for. Skynox already, yeah, stun follow-up as Henning connects another one. 5 for him so far, but of course the Storm Bolts keep coming in. And that brings him closer and closer to his quest reward. Another slide, misses in this case. Ty is looking for the kill, but can't do anything here just yet. Another Storm Bolt connects too, as HANZO will need a quick appointment at the dentist. That Storm Bolt connecting full. This arrow, by the way, goes straight again to North America, so didn't really do anything here. And yeah, that's it. Little attempts of forcing fights, so far unsuccessful. Another slide from Fury here. But the only thing that they get out of this one is a stun against Misha, and that's not really what you're looking for here. But we still have this entire setup with not only the crushing jaws, but also the stage dive into the backline for the isolation against Galaxy. Lulba in trouble, but jumps in and is about to drop Kelvin. Malfurion dies first, but there's the death of Muradin. And it might not be the only one. Instead, Ty seems to be the one falling, but with the Shadow Waltz, he gets away again. Wit is a bit low, Kelvin is low, Galaxy is low, everybody's low, and this is a potential kill. Yeah, I love how they leave Fury alone. The entire rest of the team was just like, screw it. That could have been at least another kill for the team in blue, but there was definitely some problems with the communication. Basically, ETC says, guys, I got him! Slides in, pushes him back, and at the same time we see the rest of the team run away and leave him alone. Yeah, that just happened. And also what happened is that we have, as predicted, the Bronzebeard Rage on level 13. Big boy talent right now. So you actually get heal out of the talent, you get AoE damage, and at the same time you have even more damage increase against stunned and rooted targets. And as we highlighted in the draft, you look over to the blue team and you see a huge amount of stuns coming out from Muradin, TYRANDE, etc. So for team fights, there's definitely a big argument to be made that this is going to be a great setup for them. But as level 13 talents already on both sides, we still see the lead in experience and in kills for Granit Gaming. They're going for Lulba again. And Lulba is just dying the entire time. This is the 4th death on the Dwarf. And they get another Dragon Knight. Go Next is just murdering it right now. I mean, seriously, these guys are just killing the Dwarf over and over again. Didn't even have an opportunity to go straight into the Avatar here. Now they're going through the bot lane. So this game is not currently planning out properly for Granit Gaming. They're getting pretty much wrecked at this point. Go Next is starting to go straight in for the bottom fort. The one in the middle has suffered damage too. And they are delivering here. Yep, that's 1 fort down. They can even make the transition into the mid lane and trying to get another one. And obviously we're still looking at a lot of quest talents that can be completed here. Especially the formerly mentioned Hunter-Gatherer on level 4 for Rexa. So they're going in for another one. And now that the fountain is down, that's another retreat point already cut off. There's no sustain on this lane any longer. We have also not really seen a single decent team fight setup, honestly. I mean, we had one attempt there at the top and ETC was jumping in, but outside of that, not much more. So once again, we're having, the jump out. Dragon Knight already in position to hammer that fort into the ground. And there's the Dragon's Breath right there. And it's the end of the fort. 2 down. And a big lead at this point for Go Next. Now in experience, they are still not on 16. They're half level ahead right now. But the situation is definitely pretty fantastic for Go Next here. Then again, I always have to throw that little caveat where we've seen a lot of games in the past where Go Next play an incredible early game, they play a strong mid game, and then they make weird decisions in the late game where they just don't capitalize on their advantages properly, start to lose their lead, and all of a sudden find themselves behind. So this is what they've been struggling with most of the season. They definitely improved, but when it comes to that late game experience, they're definitely trailing behind still a bit. There is a lot of improvement, but we'll see if they can this time really bring this game over the distance, because there comes the flank from mid, from the back. Arrow this time connecting from HANZO. Blessed Shield not thrown out. They still didn't want to fight with the 2 camps being here, but the defense is still working out for them. So once again, starting to make their way in. Already a little bit of control by Svamgrota with a slow. Here comes the attack on the other hand against Misha and Rexa. Feign Death already active. ETC jumped in. Taluf in trouble. Isolated from the rest of the team and likely to fall. Blessed Shield comes out. So does the Ring of Frost, zoning them slightly. And that's the end of Rexa as we have Blauber jumping in deep again. Another Stormbolt connect. Everybody's low for Go Next, but they're still able to escape, at least for the time being. Camp gets stolen away from them. Lauber with another Stormbolt completes his quest talent, has the baseline now completely done. And also on level 16 now with the Stone Form. So ETC moving over to the top to make sure that this fort doesn't fall and that he also gets the experience for his team. Cooldown on the stage dive isn't ready yet, so he can't join the bot lane anytime soon. We have the synergy with the level 1 talent now for Johanna as well, with Fanaticism that she currently has here. So increased duration as well, which is actually pretty important if you consider the cooldown reduction that already comes into play with this. And there's the first potential Dragon Knight for the team in blue. We're already having Wit trying to delay it, but as we've seen already previously, Tai is a bit of a monster on this hero. There's an interrupt. Jaina goes down at the bottom of the map. Arrow goes wide, but they get the Stormbolt against Malfurion. He goes down. Wit in the mid lane is having trouble too, and there comes the big boy stage dive with a kill against Leeming. Now Johanna is coming over too. There's one Blessed Shield coming out. Lauber, is he moving away from this? Yes, he is. Not joining that fight just yet, but Tai is sitting at the side and is saying like, ooh, look at that. 3 kills, goes in and drops nearly Wit, but has to push it back for now. At the same time, Taluf gets a little bit of topside value as he takes one of the forts down, and keep in mind, this is the last remaining fort that we had for Granit Gaming, so they already lost all of their outer structures here. But in experience and in kills, we're pretty much having an equilibrium here right now. So that's a bit of an issue from the perspective of Go Next, since despite the fact that they took down 3 forts, they are still not really too far ahead in experience. And I mean, we're looking over at the experience bar, and if you just look at that little adjustment here with the passive XP, we still have a bit more minion experience on the side of the blue team, and in kill experience, in hero experience, they're also slightly ahead. So it's not a big lead that we're seeing for Go Next. It will increase over time, thanks to the passive experience. But now we're having even more aggression coming in, and that's a nice setup against Malfury. And the ult might not have connected immediately, but Tai still gets the kill, and he is murdering on Coffin Girl again. So now with that, they're making the play for another Dragon Knight. ETC has already taken over the top lane again. Muradin is moving in with Bronzebeard action right there. And they're trying to control this spot now. Whereas at the bot lane, we're seeing Wit moving in to maybe reclaim the situation. But it's not looking likely. No. That's going to be a Dragon Knight for sure. And there we go. Lauber claims it. Has the Dragon Knight now starting to move in straight through the bot lane. And going for the Breath of Fire. And they're doing well. I mean, Granit is honestly starting to come back into this, but I still have to give some kudos to Go Next for how they present themselves so far in this best of 5. But the game obviously continuing, with so far not a single fort taken down by Granit Gaming. They're trying to set that up. Fountain goes down, ETC at the top lane, still gets chased by Taluf. There's a 3-man at the bot lane trying to do some value plays. Unsuccessfully so far, I might add. The Dragon Knight is nearly burned down, by the way. Li Ming did a great job here, and finally they're committing to the fort itself, so they're going to get one for sure. The question is that all that they can take now? Wit needs to be careful here. He's actually committing to this. Bit of an interesting situation here. Swamgora going into the ice block right away. Was probably expecting a blessed shield and an Hanzo arrow to come out, which didn't happen, so used the cooldown. Has another big jump in. A little bit of Breath of Fire, and they're fighting for this. ETC is getting ready for the stage dive. There's a level 20 talent on both sides already, and it goes actually into the Crowd Pleaser. Crowd Pleaser taken, especially with Misha in play. You get that cooldown reduction, and there we go. Time to shine as we have the slide. Who are they going to slide on? Just zoning them out for now, trying to drive a bit of a wedge in. Arrow is completely dodged. Good play by Swamgrot on Henning. Both of them saw it coming and immediately move out of harm's way. Fury, on the other hand, is still in trouble, and so is Lauber. The Ring of Frost comes out and locks down Li Ming, and that's a kill. Nicely done right there. ETC only on a 20-second cooldown on his ult at this point, simply because of that cooldown reduction. Lulba, on the other hand, in trouble, gets sucked in with a Condemn and goes down too. Nice counter kill here. The Radiating Fate has been taken once again, and that's the end of Tai this time. So the massive stuns that are coming out of this, just helping them to get that extra damage connected. Good stuns from Henning. We're still seeing Fury in a bit of trouble. He has the stage dive ready and can jump away from it though. But there is nothing on the map that can really be taken outside of camps. Therefore, no objective. No objective that you can try to capitalize on now. 9 against 9, the kill count. And we are 17 minutes into the game, pretty much in a dead even position. We should probably say that. Probably not dead even, let's just face it. When it comes to structures, there is a lead for Go Next. But in terms of experience, they're extremely close together. And the kill count is identical. Now, Muradin is sitting at 31 stacks now for the Stormbolt, so that's obviously quite a lot. Galaxy is still fighting over this, but the team is already moving out just before Taluf moves in. Ice block. Nicely done by Swankoroda. Really well done by him. And obviously, having the global is gonna be another big asset in favor of Granit Gaming in the long run. Damage output here with 59,000 for Tai has died twice so far. Henning on TYRANDE is the only player, only hero in this game that hasn't fallen yet. And we're having down here at the bot lane, the defense, as at the top lane, value is gained. Muradin is hopping in deep, gets the Stormbolt out, and there's again the big boy ult, and the kill, maybe? No? Oh, there it is. Against Malfurion, and Wit is about to fall too. Galaxy is low and trying to jump out. He has Muradin. Does he have a jump? He has a jump. Does he have a bolt? And the answer is yes, he does. And he connects it too. So that's another big victory here for Granit Gaming as they get the late game. Top lane is already taking a lot of damage thanks to the camp that was taken earlier. Taluf is dealing with it as best as he can, and Li Ming is helping out. But with Tai now moving into the shrine, this looks more and more like we're going to see another Dragon Knight for them. Damage output already. Tai gets stunned out, but Fury is there too. Gets the slide. Great feint death from Taluf. But this is still a problem, especially since Muradin is already thinking about diving behind the fort now too. Decides against it though. They want to go for the objective. It's an 18-19 minute Dragon Knight, and Swamgarota takes it and is trying to get the value now with it. Question of course remains, what can you get with that? Can you try and get a keep? Are you going to go for the fort at the bot lane, or what's the game plan here? They're starting to make the moves down to the bottom of the map, already anchoring the plays here, eating the damage, at least for now with ETC. No proc rock for him. It's the block party instead, and that is a fort eliminated within seconds. No problem whatsoever to take this one down. And now the move for the keep itself. Defense is still there. Not quite sure why Taluf actually goes back. Misha is back to business now, thanks to that. But we're having already the move straight to that gate. Ah, Kelvin! Nicely done. Stormbolt misses as Lauber jumps in and looks for an opportunity to lock them down. Wit attempting to come in from the side, but Fury with a good anchor play, making sure that he doesn't get a free access into the backline heroes. Nice damage. They're going already for it, and here comes the hold your ground play. Kelvin actually pausing the game here. Apparently a little bit of a problem for them. In this case, we are still having Johanna at the side, zoned out by ETC. I really like the attempt from Jojo to come in from the side, get a good shot against Henning or against Tai, and get the kills in from the backline. They've done that a few times now, and if he moves in with a Condemn, gets the Blessed Shield out, and then Galaxy comes in with the Hanzo arrow, they definitely have a lot of kill potential here. But as it happens, Fury making the right moves. He's the one who zones at the side, makes sure that Johanna doesn't get that opportunity. Now puts Johanna into a tricky spot since he's able to body block her. And at the same time, we saw Lauber actually sitting at the side of the Dragon Eye to see if he can jump in, get a Stormbolt connected, and set the stun up for TYRANDE to follow it up with the Hunter's Mark, with a follow-up Lunar Flare, and then tie with the damage output. And obviously the Dragonite is still here and can also take down the keep slowly but steadily. But especially Kelvin was under a lot of pressure on his Liming. If you paid attention, you've seen that we've seen TYRANDE very heavily home in on him. Now, Taluf and everybody else is obviously up now. Keep in mind that we still have also the Heroic up for ETC, so he can jump onto this position, get the cooldown reduction, and get the value there. Still with the anchor play, but he can always jump in whenever he wants to. Here comes the punt already. Quest completed now also for TYRANDE. Once again, they're setting everything up, looking to drop the keep, but obviously they're falling a little bit low on that decay. Still 20 seconds though. There's a couple of lightning breaths that you can use, but they wait for another minion wave and they don't have one. Misha gets punted out. Wit is still looking for a setup, looking for a connect, and they're slowly falling away from this. Arrow comes through and doesn't do enough, and immediately Lauber is in the middle of things. Gets silenced though with the Twilight Dream. Ult comes out from TYRANDE. Lauber in trouble. ETC with a massive reset value. There comes the Ring of Frost, but the only hero that gets connected with is Misha. And now with Muradin dead again, Fury is just on the run with the rest of the team here. They try to go for the kills. The only one that they can actually drop is Misha. And now a nice dodge by Tai as they are trying to escape. ETC doing his best to just zone them out the entire time. Kill attempt by Tai as he realizes he can't get away from this one, at least not easily. They're still fighting for the position. ETC already has his ult back up, but Tai goes down. ETC could try and make the jump onto Kelvin, but doesn't even do that. Henning is in trouble, and there's Fury just retreating as quickly as he can. Svampgrotta with the counter kill attempt, can't get that. No mana for Fury, and he's down. 4 heroes eliminated, 20 seconds for Muradin, and here comes Go Next. They move through the bot lane, they're trying to get the kills now. They need to get the keep. They need to get the keep, and they're also going to try and get the core right here. This is the moment for them to take the lead in the series. They're already attempting to make the play for Svampgrotta as well so far. Unsuccessfully, the keep is down. Muradin is back, but with another 30 seconds for the rest of them to make it back into the game. I don't see a chance for them. Muradin jumps in, Stormbolts everywhere, the shield is already falling. The Dwarf jumping back into the backline, using the ult, trying his best here, and they're trying to hold somehow. Svampgrotta with the damage output, but the shield's already down and the core is falling down to 50%, going down to 40. Skynox is about to fall. There's the Ring of Frost, they're going in deep again, but it is too late. Go Next, they take the lead in the best of 5 against Granit Gaming. Game number 2, and Go Next is in the lead, boys and girls. They've actually been playing really well on the last one. Muradin got punished a little bit. Again, new patch, new build. Need to adjust your playstyle a bit. Kind of seemed a bit that Lauber thought he could survive through a lot more than was actually the case, especially with the whole stun setup. I mean, oftentimes he was in a position where he got stunned out, and then Malfurion came in with his silence through the Twilight Dream and locked him down even harder, so that was something. But now we're going into game number 2. Infernal Shrines is a lot of potential for Johanna and even Muradin again. Now obviously there's still Diablo to consider. There's a lot more happening here too. But when we talk about the heroes that have been addressed in the latest patch, then those are definitely the two favorites to get some value out of this one now. But we'll see. Time will tell. We have HANZO already banned out, and that makes it even more likely. For me personally, it's also a question of what we're going to see in regards to mages, because obviously Tyrande or Fia works pretty well, as we've seen on the last one. But in this game, we could see Khaldor maybe even. Then again, frontline, by the way, another hero to be claimed would be TYRANDE, and that's something that actually Go Next has been doing a lot with. Loves the hero. There's usually a huge impact on it. There's JAINA already banned out, so that's not going to happen. And what are we? Yeah, the new rank ban, okay. So it's still first pick, first ban for Granit Gaming, which also means that Go Next has actually taken the map, so they went for the map choice here. I think that's also one of the reasons why JAINA is banned out, because we've already seen Wit now do a whole lot on Dragonshy with the hero. It is known that he is really good on JAINA. He prefers JAINA. It's one of his priority picks, or was in the past, heading again with the early TYRANDE. But it explains at least the ban a little bit. Now there's still a couple of heroes that we oftentimes see banned out that are still available. Tracer, for example, ZARYA, for example, are still both up, so they can be taken. Ana, obviously, is normally also a very early pick, but in the recent series in Division S, after the patch, she's actually been, I don't want to say ignored, but definitely started to drop in priority again after the build got reduced. And yeah, same thing here. Ana is up, but doesn't get picked. Malthaeel instead, and TYRANDE. We have JAINA now from Kelvin, so there is again the AoE and the burst damage that you have for Infernal Shrines. Frontliners are going to be important here. And I personally think that we're actually going to see Leoric again. Like, Leoric is the likely pick to be taken on the map. Fantastic for the shrine value. Amazing when it comes to rotate between top and mid lane to get the camps also taken out. Dibbles and Zeratul, so a combo with Void Prison into Apocalypse, already about to be executed by Granit Gaming. It's a little bit of a wombo attempt from them. And yeah, what else when it comes to bans? What are you going to get rid of here? I mean, you're obviously looking at the damage and you're thinking, okay, what do we have to eliminate here? If they themselves don't want to go for it, Junkrat might be a pick that you want to get rid of. He has good poke against the objective. It's not quite what the follow-up usually is for the damage here, but it could be the outside poke. It's hammer time. No hammer for Granit Gaming. Alright. Ban on the other side, though. Could target the front line. Again, you already have your own tank with Diablo. So you could ban out another hero for Wit so that he can't play it here. Tyrael, another good choice, especially with that Zeratul setup. And that's what Wit actually oftentimes picks here. So I would like a Tyrael ban. And it's MALTHAEL instead. MALTHAEL against Diablo, keeping Diablo alive a little bit more here. Are we going to see that Tyrael for Wit? Is he going to go into a Muradin setup? Or are we going to see something completely different from him and maybe even dropping that Garrosh here? Personally, I don't really think that the latter is going to be the case for the setup here, but still. And they go for it, alright? They go for Garrosh, they go for Blaze, a lot more hit point heavy as I thought at the front. Not going into that Tyrael, even with the Blaze up. Tyrael Blaze would also be crazy for them. But yeah, don't see it too often that Wit actually lets Tyrael just slide through in a situation where Zeratul is taken on the other side. And now we still need the damage output for them. Grota has played a ton of Junkrat in the past. I wouldn't be shocked at all to see that again. But then again, is that really the main damage dealer? If so, you would put Zeratul into a very different spot. And since they can't quite play that, they have to put Grota on a different hero. And it's Vala, actually. Together with Furious Leoric. And it was actually Granit Gaming that brought Vala into the game again, with Ty mostly playing the hero. Oftentimes with a solo support setup, as we are seeing it here once again. Not with a double support. That was for the longest time where Vala could be played. But yeah, they're one of the few teams that pick her regularly. And now for the last pick on the other side, we have Jimmy. Jimmy in play for the auto attack damage, ladies and gentlemen. Game number 2, Infernal Shrines. And we're heading straight in to see if Go Next can maybe take a 2-0 lead over Granit Gaming. Game number 2. The lead for Go Next. A little bit unexpected by many, I would say. On the left side, Granit Gaming with Henning on TYRANDE. Again, Grota on Zeratul, so they switched it around so Ty can play Vala. Fury on Leoric and Lulba on Diablo. After Muradin, he was looking at the tank pool and was saying, what has more hit points? And went for Dibbles. On the right side of the map, Kelvin on Jaina. For Go Next, we have Skynox on Malfurion, Wit on Garrosh, Toulouse on Blaze, and Galaxy is playing RAYNOR. Alright, I'm good with this. I'm honestly a bit excited. I want to see if Go Next can take that 2-0 lead. That would be pretty amazing, to tell you the truth. Because so far, it has been a pretty exciting set just to see how Go Next... I mean, I've been talking about this in the first game, right? How Go Next is improving a lot and how they oftentimes fall short. They're not expected to win here. Granit Gaming is the first team in the standings. They have played an amazing season. But Go Next, they are starting to get better and better and better, and obviously their goal is to establish themselves at least, I would say, solidly in the middle of the pack, which is tricky for them right now. But let's see how this is going to pan out. In terms of talents, nothing really too shocking. We have Austin's Renewal here, no Consume Vitality. We're seeing also still a Cleave build for Zeratul, despite the fact that Cleave does a little bit less damage. But obviously it's still very, very impactful, especially after level 16. On top of that, the ace in the hole for Jimmy, and both of the teams already trying to just exchange a bit of damage here in the mid lane and the bot lane as they're looking around here. But yeah, with that said, we're going to see the hybrid multi-shot build from Vala again. And Ty has to prove his skills there for sure. Kelvin already getting attacked, but Grota with a good singularity spike that he connects here. And yeah, Lauber just interested to get his stacks together. Soul Shield obviously going to capitalize on that also. And already the damage against Ty from Kelvin goes in. Another nice attack here from Galaxy as well. With Jimmy, gets a bit more damage in, and all of a sudden Kelvin is in trouble since Van Grota is trying to go for the kill. Nicely done with Jaina, but Henning went a little bit too deep for this one. There's the kill against Jaina though, and TYRANDE falls as well. Nice attack here by Lauber. And that was actually really needed. I don't even think that Jaina needed to die here. I honestly feel that Kelvin could just have moved away. But I don't think that he accounted for Lauber being this aggressive and getting the wall stuns through as he did. But as it stands, it's a 1-for-1 trading kills. So far, well done by the both of them. And now we have the Strangling Vines again. Good for the burst damage, reducing the heals here. Then again, you want to control those choke points during the objective. And objective number 1, first shrine is going to spawn topside. That's what the two teams have to get ready for. But it's camps that everybody is taking right now. And as I said, hybrid build for Vala. Standard build, pretty much. I mean, you go straight into the punishment on level 4, and usually you will see Arsenal on level 7 as well. Especially on Inferno Shrines, since it nets you even more AoE damage on the shrine, and therefore the numbers. Needle Peasants as well. Leo, always so demanding. He's always so demanding. It's unbelievable. Jaina is dead again. Wait, what? Alright, someone took apparently a bad path into the middle of the map. Alright, Kelvin needs to be a little bit more cautious. He's a bit too hard on the front line here with Jaina. But that was a good random kill for Granit Gaming that they were probably not really expecting either. Garrosh is sitting in the mid lane right now. And we have that rotation any moment towards the top from Jaina. Death timers are obviously low, so it's not really too much of a problem. But they now have to win the fight because they're falling behind in the minion stacks. Which means that they have to make sure that they're getting a kill here and force the opponent off the shrine completely, or they're going to be in trouble. There's already the little rocket ride of Kelvin. Yeah, and there might be a kill against Lauber. Not quite. He uses again his Shadow Charge to move out of position. Toulouse with a nice poke and has to jet propulsion out of harm's way. But the fight is definitely on. 28 points, 35 against 7, and that AoE is going to allow Granit Gaming to get the first Punisher in this game, or at least it should. Stun attempt against Wit, the throw against Fury, and that's Leoric down. Leorki trade value activated, as is. We're looking for the slows here. Toulouse gets jumped and dropped by the Punisher, and they get another kill. That is 2 big kills against Go Next after the objective was already taken. Great setup again. Nicely played by Granit, and they're even diving behind the fort now as they see an opportunity to follow up on this. And with them actually zoning out the opponent this hard, that Punisher is still on 30% HP and can now easily go straight for the fort itself. So nicely done. Granit with a massive, massive lead in this early game. 4 kills against 2, level ahead, 4 taken down. Doesn't get any better, honestly. Really, really solid setup. Again, we're having the Malevolence taken from Diablo. So with the additional spell damage they can push out, especially of course after he gets his quick his quick setups on against heroes like Jaina, as we've seen previously. But yeah, here comes the attack against Galaxy. Nothing really forced yet, but they are doing solid work. Mid lane on the other hand, there's a bit of a flip against Lauber, and this time it's a lot harder to take him down. The jet propulsion missing doesn't make that any easier, and now all of a sudden the Louvre gets attacked too. That was actually a close call. If he gets flipped over again, then he might be in quite a predicament, especially since Ty rotated in from the side too. So for now, we're having ZARYA going towards the middle, and you can actually tell that Granit Gaming is definitely in a very different position compared to game number 1. It's a lot harder for GoNext to now make their plays. This is their map, by the way. This is the map that GoNext chose, because Granit Gaming went for first pick, first ban. Jaina currently also struggling a bit to get even more damage out for her baseline quest. That ice block is going to be needed later on. And let's not forget, we are talking about VP into Apocalypse potentially. Top lane pressure and a kill against Leo as he falls. Malfurion with a rotation in and Kelvin helping out to make sure that they get the kill. And now level 10 is there. And there we have it. The setup with the APOC and the Void Prison plus Strafe again for Vala, as we've so often seen it from Ty in this setup. And also, obviously, the Entomb. Strong setup. Really, really good talents to get a complete wombo off. And that's what they've been what they are going to be aiming for. There comes the flip. ZARYA jumping out and a Void Prison setup. Strafe already activated. Bit of a problem here, but they still get the Apocalypse combo. That's what they were really hoping for. Not quite a lot of value from the Strafe here, but they get the kill, they get the follow-up, and that's 2 confirmed as Garrosh and Malfurion are both dead. Well done. Well done by them, and now of course the opportunity to go straight for another 4th elimination. Really cool setup. I mean, the boys are doing work here in blue. It's a completely different game. Granit Gaming is currently showcasing why they are the number 1 in the standings, and after the loss on the first map probably saying, alright boys, let's show what we're made of and make sure that we're not falling behind with an 0-2 here and have to all of a sudden fear that we're going to lose the entire match there. So with this, they're having at the top lane now also Leoric set up to deal with the camp that has been taken. We're having still another shrine activated on the map. And the problem is really that level 13 is so close now for the blue team. There's a really good chance that they're going to get this. Honestly, I wouldn't even have been surprised if they go for the camp here. They didn't, it's too late now. But I feel like they had the time to try and make that play. And so far they haven't really. They even leave the time on the shrine for GoNext, as you can see here, because they're hoping for the level 13 talent. But they don't have it yet. ZARYA was trying to get in the middle and they decide against it. It's also another 10 seconds until the Void Prison is back up again, and then they can go for the combo once more. And they're willing to fight it with the talent advantage once that they have that. There comes already the setup. Apocalypse could be used. Void Prison is now up too. And there it is. 3-man VP and the APOC combo is completely getting destroyed. No value there. The kill against RAYNOR. ZARYA dies too, but everybody is still incredibly low. And they're going in for the kill against not only Malfurion, but they're also about to drop their next target with Witch, or maybe not. Alright, so yeah, looks like the Twilight Dream ruined the combo there, to be honest. There's no way that ZARYA would not have opened it up. I didn't quite see it, but it seemed with the cooldown that we actually had the Twilight Dream coming through from Malfurion and silencing him so that he could actually not use that. And that's obviously the play that you have to go for. If you see that coming out, you need to try and interrupt ZARYA wherever you can here. So yeah. But as it stands, they still get the kills. They still got the kills, and now they still have the opportunity to get another Punisher here. So it's still all good in the hood. They were able to claim the fight, and now with 8 kills against 4, they're still in a fantastic setup. Once again, move through the bot lane. And this is now a bit of a different situation, obviously, since, yes, we're still just 10 minutes in, but with the fort already destroyed, it means that this one is going to aim for the keep itself. Now, they shouldn't be able to get the keep, but they should be able to break through the wall and prep the keep for later on. And getting some additional value out of this. The bait over the wall is inevitable, and it's going to make it easier with the defense. There comes the stun already as a follow-up. ZARYA isn't jumping in yet, but keep in mind that Leo has the Entomb up, and we still have Strafe. So there are kill opportunities for sure. There's already the Entomb. Strafe not being used that. Bunker's on the ground, negating a lot of it. And they're still fighting here. The fight is still on. There's the Apocalypse. They're going for Wit. Wit is in trouble, and Wit is down. So is Jimmy, and there's the VP again. And this time they can follow it up. Ring of Frost comes in. They're trying to prevent the worst. But now again the silence, and Ty can go for his ult if he wants to, and he is cleaning house. He held the strafe back for the longest time here. Was waiting for Malfurion to use his ult. Was waiting for the Ring of Frost, and then at the end he goes for the strafe, finishes them off, and all of a sudden the core is open, and this is looking more and more like a super short game as Granit Gaming wants to drop Go next here. Death timers are low though, and that might be what's going to save this core eventually, but they're trying to make the play. 80% for now. Down goes Leo, and they have to retreat here. Death timer's too low, and they are just moving back. Lauber likely to fall and lose his stacks, but they get a bit more damage in against the core itself. Unlikely that they can finish it off, but of course the more damage you do right now, the easier it is later for you to either move in and go for a quick backdoor or simply rely on the catapults. And obviously they also buy time for their mid lane push here, which is going to eliminate another fort eventually. So still getting the damage in, still moving away. Ty is getting his ult out again. Likely that Heading is going to fall. And yep, there's a kill against Jaina on the other hand though. And Diablo's already back to business. He wants a little bit more and a piece of the action here, as they're starting to see the play against Wit. Nicely done with the save for just a second, but Wit is still in trouble. And there comes the quick move onto the bunker on the ground. But still well played here. Still well played. Again, with longer death timers, this... Oh! Oh boy, it might be over already. I was just about to say, with longer death timers, the game might already be over. And that I actually like that they dropped the core to 50%. But now another set of kills incoming. And they're not even making the play for the core. At this point, they're just saying, okay guys, let's play this safe. Let's don't give them an opportunity. Let's take the map. Let's take the advantage. We are way ahead right now. Objective is going to spawn soon. We have 16 talents. We have a 2-level lead. Stats advantage. Let's play this safe. And again, keep in mind that while we have this one active, the bot lane is going to push hard. And with only 48% on the core, you can lose to catapults easy peasy. It's a huge problem. But Granit Gaming not making that play for the core there in the final moment. So especially with Diablo being a bit lower on souls, they waited it out. Now when we're looking at this, we have currently 28,000 damage on Kelvin's Jaina, but Ty himself with 33k. And Ty hasn't died yet. Vala these days is not being played often without double support. Actually, that's not quite true anymore. She wasn't played with at all. If played, then only with a double support, but Granit Gaming brought her back into the meta with Ty playing a fantastic hero. And you can see how patient he oftentimes is with his ult in particular. There's already the trap set at the bot lane, if anybody D-pushes. So far that's not the case. And they're obviously trying to also threaten a potential backdoor. Look at the patience here. They're starting to move in with 3, and they might actually just go for the core. Keep in mind, they have now the Void Prison up. The entire combo is set. This is a really uncomfortable position for Go Next to be in. Really uncomfortable. Very, very difficult for them to react to this. You have to be super careful. Fury is not going for the Entomb just yet, but there's still Zeratul to consider. He's looking for the VP. And the core is getting attacked, so at this point they need to make sure that someone is dealing with that too. And the rotation towards the top. So the entire time it's just constant pressure. Bot lane, everywhere they go, they have to really consider, is our opponent setting a trap here, yes or no? Svamgroda is moving in, set something up here, VP against 2, where's the APOC? And there it is, and that's going to be a connect. That's a connect right there, not quite as much value as they were hoping for, already pushing them out. Skynox not with the ult just yet, no kill against them, bot lane pushing. There comes the Entomb, Leo moving in for the damage reduction with the Royal Focus and the Ominous Wraith. It's just like, wait a second, Tongue Twister action is coming up now. And the bot lane, there's the value. 14 minutes in, second catapult already on the way, which means that we have Jaina starting to move down to the bottom of the map. The kill attempt here at the top against Wit, and he's keeping himself alive as Svamgroda jumps in again, trying to get value on the cleave. Adjustment also from Ty, by the way. Look, going for the frost shot. They are still full on chasing here. They want the chase. They get the chase. The stuns keep out. Everything. There's the ult again from Alfurion, but he's already down. And with the control that we're getting through the Frost Shot is another great setup. Ring of Frost comes in, but Taluf is definitely going to fall. He survives for a bit longer, but in the long run, he has no chance there. Leo might sacrifice himself. He might have to, but it doesn't matter anymore. We already see Garrosh dying, and now we're having the big dive by Lauber as they go for Kelvin. And that's a full 5-man team wipe as Ty is homing in on the core here. Lets himself bounce a little bit as he waits for Lauber to take the damage. And that's game. That's the tie in the series. And obviously here on Vala, as we have 20 against 16 and an easy victory for Granit Gaming. GG and well played, ladies and gentlemen, as we head into game number 3. It's getting spicy. It is getting spicy. Game 3, Towers of Doom, and Granit Gaming. They were apparently not too happy with the loss on game number 1. They came out swinging with big kills against Go Next and made it look easy, honestly, on map number 2. Definitely starting to show again why they're currently the number 1 in the standings. Maybe a little bit of a warm-up game in game number 1 for them. But now we have first pick, first ban for Go Next. The map choice has been made from Granit Gaming, so I'm hyped for this. Towers of Doom is going to be exciting. Granit Gaming, again, is the favorite in this series, but we've seen now a lot of action from Go Next, and let's see if they can pull that off. Granit Gaming gets, well, they have Tracer banned against them. That's the first thing that happens here. And let's have a look at that. What gets banned out right now? I mean, first of all, I would expect that we're seeing at least Zeratul and or MAIEV addressed again. Abathur in this case gets banned out too. I mean, the dynamic changes a little bit. We could still see that offlane ETC, for example, from Granit Gaming. So that might be something that gets played by Fury. He actually starts to play that a lot. And those second tank ETC plays, they really seem to be working out quite nicely for them when he joins with the stage dive. Especially when they go for a ban against Dehaka then later on. That might be an indicator for that. Dehaka obviously on the big map with the global. Pretty solid. Seen Fallout actually a little bit more too. I would still expect Heading to go for TYRANDE first pick if he can. The interrupt on the channel is also pretty nice. And there's HANZO. HANZO gets banned out, so no HANZO, no Kelvin HANZO. But the Insta MAIEV. And MAIEV gets actually let through a bit more these days. Now you have to also consider the latest patch, but still. So, yeah, let's see if Kelvin can really deliver here. That has to be a TYRANDE pick, honestly. I mean, I would be shocked if we don't see that. And so far, they've oftentimes picked JAINA with that pick to get the insta-burst damage on her. So that might be what they're gonna do now. It's the ETC. And again, this is the ETC setup where you can play him either in the main tank position or in the off-tank position. And in both cases, you can go for a stage dive. Lauber has played many times with ETC as a main tank with stage dive regardless. But they can always swap it over. They can swap Lauber onto a different hero, Fury onto ETC, and vice versa. So they're very flexible in the way that they're setting this up. There's now Witz Tyrael as expected, Taluf on Dehaka. Alright, this is a little bit more like what we expected in previous games already. At least the Tyrael play. With normally murdering on that hero. And yeah, what do you ban out now? It's a bit of a question what they themselves want to get. I still expect that we're going to have Go Next ban out JAINA against them. And probably... yeah, there's the ban. It's a little bit surprising. I honestly thought that they might make the play for JAINA, but then again, I feel Li Ming and or... ooh, ZARYA gets banned out. Okay, fair enough. Granit Gaming, they played quite a few games with ZARYA, as did the Russians, by the way. Team Russia did the same thing. So this is one of those better safe than sorry setups that we're currently having. You can still make the play with Li Ming now for resets. And obviously on top of that, you can also play with Coffin Girl again if they want to go into Orphea instead. The offlane is what interests me the most, to be honest. There's a Li Ming setup, yeah. Ty, really good on the hero. And Leo. Fury. Oh, Schalt Swiffer. Fury trying to clean house again. Last two picks that come in from their opponent, on the other hand. What is Go Next gonna do? I mean, they still need a solid damage output with MAIEV here. We have Jimmy if they want to go for auto attacks. Don't think that we're going to see a Sergeant Hammer in this setup. But what's the other main damage dealer if you really want to capitalize on the MAIEV setup and tether someone in? Rhaegar for the support, and it's Gul'dan. Alright. Gul'dan is getting played. Still don't think that we're going to see the Reign of Destruction even after the changes over Horrify. But Gul'dan comes in, and the last pick for Svamgrotta. Traditionally speaking, Junkrat would be good for them. They really like to play around that hero. Is that going to be the case here, though? That's a different question. You still have Jimmy up now, too, that you could use here. And we'll see. Towers of Doom, ladies and gentlemen. It's game number 3 in the best of 5 series at Division S. And our last pick for Granit is indeed the Rat. Junkrat gets picked by Svamgrotta as we are heading into the 3rd map of the series. Game number 3, Granit Gaming against Go Next. Who's taking the lead here? We start to jump in with Henning on TYRANDE. I mean, honestly, at this point, he should just get a subscription for the hero. Svamgrotta is currently playing Junkrat, Fury on Leoric, Laub on ETC, and Tai on Li Ming. And on the right side of the map, Go Next with Kelvin playing MAIEV. We have Skynox on Rhaegar, Toulouf on Dehaka, Galaxy on Gul'dan, and Wit on Tyrael for the witty plays. A lot of hype around this Tyrael here. Let's see if we can actually justify that. They have played a great first game, and then they got wrecked, like absolutely wrecked in game number 2. That was quite the beating that they took there. Obviously now a chance to redeem themselves and reclaim the lead in this series, in this best of 5. And we already have Toulouf sitting there with a drag, and they go for Lauba. He gets tethered in right after this as well. Waited for a long time with a slide and gets that through, so Lauba is still safe. Henning coming out with the heals. That worked out for him, and it was a bit of a moment. But it wasn't really too bad for him then there in the long run. Galaxy now with Gul'dan. And again, there have been a lot of changes in the latest patch, so we now see Reign of Destruction with a lot... I mean, it's a lot more effective than it was before, but still, you have Horrify on the other side. Are you really going for the RNG Reign? I mean, this isn't Hearthstone after all, so usually it's skill that matters here. And with that said, I would expect Horrify to still be the pick, so yeah. Hashtag shots fired. So down to the bottom on the other hand, now we're having a couple of slides coming through as Lauba was double checking if the camp is taken on the right side. And yep, indeed, that's the case, but he can't really invade it since they're taking their own, so it's just a simple exchange of pumpkin camps. Up to the top, Fury with Toulouf, still fighting that little battle here, and it's all about the drains to connect here, what they're trying to set up. Down at the bottom of the map, the kill attempts obviously, but over here to the top, just drain, 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 try and out-sustain your opponent. With this, we are now also seeing down at the bottom of the map, Galaxy in a bit of trouble, Lauba. Pushes him back, was waiting for a slide here maybe even, but they can't really get anything. Oh, this on the other hand, that would have been good. Both of them with the same idea at the same time. If they can lock Kelvin down a bit longer, that might have been good. This is a problem, by the way. Toulouf going down to the bottom of the map, not really an issue, as long as he gets value, but he doesn't, and that's a problem. So now Fury can, for example, try and rotate over here and delay Dehaka's rotation. In this case, he doesn't do it, but it's still a couple of minions lost. That's 2 minions that were just lost, and might even have been a third. I'm not quite sure if he was in range for that. So yeah, with those down, it's a little bit of a dicey spot now to be in. I mean, again, it's not really too tricky, but you look at experience as a difference now. And especially since Dehaka at the top lane is already a bit ahead. So it might not look like much, but that's how you get ahead in this game, if you're playing on this level. And this helps too if you get the kills like we just saw it against Gul'dan. Obviously a counter kill attempt, and this might actually work since Fury is attacked by 3, tries to get the drain, and he's going to fall. But there's a big difference between this kill and the one at the bot lane. This kill is going to help them in the long run because they are going to have Fury back on the lane in just a few seconds. So there's still a lead in experience for Granit Gaming, and those are the small things that you're trying to accomplish and then propel forward slowly and steadily. So with this, shots fired on both sides, an easy exchange, and the fight now over the bell tower, or over the altar here in the middle. Having a quick look at the top, Fury is so far only taking this. So it's actually an advantageous position for Go Next around the altar. And the reason is actually simple. They have Gul'dan coming in at the side. They have only 3 heroes that are defending right here. And they're pretty much surrounded. I mean, Taluf is coming in. He's going to try and get the drag against Tai. And this entire setup can just push them past. And then ETC, is he really going to be there in time? A bit doubtful. Skynox can also interrupt him. But the problem is mainly that we're going to have a long time for Fury to really rotate into the fight and take it here. Now in the early game, if you are losing one of the altars, it's usually not too much of an issue, but obviously it sets you slightly behind, and it can become a problem in the later stages of the game. As we can see right now also with the damage output, having Junkrat with a poke doing a whole lot of work, Li Ming connecting the shots there as well. But I would still expect this to be pushed back, especially Henning has to be careful. Tai should have the cooldown still up so they can blink away from this, but it's definitely going to be, yeah, there's a blink and they're moving out. But this is already in the channel. So pretty much the situation as expected, but Lauba actually goes for it. Lauba actually went for the slide, and I'm not quite sure if that was the right move, because he's isolated and he's dead now. That's the problem. If you have 3 heroes isolated like this and your opponent driving a huge wedge into the 2 parts of the team, if you slide in like he just did, you are so far away from your support that you just don't stand a chance. So now he's dead and we're still seeing the channel on the other side, and that's now 32 points against 36. So yeah, definitely a bit too aggressive here. Lauba going for aggressive plays, and in this case they were simply too aggressive. So yeah, with that said, bottom of the map, Skynox, Kelvin, Galaxy, all of them are starting to make the rotation over to the left side to try and invade the pumpkin camp after claiming their own. Let's be a little bit careful with this one though. Apparently letting it slide for now. I mean, they're pretty much back in experience to where they really want to be. But there we got it. So once again, there's a quick move straight onto Wit, and that's a kill. The Haka even trying to go down to the bottom of the map, and now all of a sudden he's in trouble too. Is there another slide? Should be up any second. Yeah, they go for MAIEV instead. And try and get the kill there, but they can't quite. Swamgrotta! Nearly getting dropped by Gul'dan, who's beasting it here. 12 stacks so far from him. 9 stacks, by the way, on the proc rock for ETC. And yeah, again, it is still a little bit of a weird setup that we're seeing here with especially the Haka trying to go down to the bot lane over and over again with a global, but never really finding the drag that would deliver them another kill. It's 2 kills against 2 right now, and a slight lead on the objective, as I said before, for Go Next. But let's see how successful they're gonna be with this in the long run, because now it's time for a double shrine, for a double altar to appear on the map again. Swift Retribution on level 7 again for Wit on Tyrael. We're starting to go for the plays down here. I mean, right now we're having Kelvin jumping in again, going for the wave clear. Already the interrupt against Wit. Tai himself trying to channel with the volleyball Li Ming. Get a bit of damage in with the Calamity too, starting to poke them low. And they're zoning out nicely, but the Haka comes in from the side, and Tai lets it slide. Tai lets it go for now. The fight actually breaking out. Tai not taking any damage so far. Looking really good on Li Ming, and they are already suffering. They're getting poked to death here, quite literally. Tai again with the attempt. Kelvin goes in. Kelvin gets stunned, and Kelvin gets killed, I think. And yes, indeed, that happens. Kelvin down, Gul'dan trying to come back with the damage, but this is starting to look more than only a little bit dicey for them. And yep, that could be another kill right there. Wit is already low, Taluf is on the run too. Not a single channel yet, but Lauba is getting in position at the bot lane, and Tai is once again homing into the middle. And that one is at least going to be completed, so that's an easy one. More combos coming out from Tai, 4 shots already fired, that equalizes the score. And you look at the experience and you realize that level 10 is going to be ready any moment for Granit, and therefore they have to let this one go as well. Another 4 shots fired, 32 against 28. The level 10 ability is going to be there too. Once more, we have seen them starting to move in through the wall. Level 10s are there. Tire. And then Mosh Pit in this case. Alright. Mosh Pit against that setup. There's a couple of counter plays, obviously, with the Sanctification and also with the Tether, with the Isolation that we're likely going to get. But still, can be a super powerful tool if used correctly, obviously. Leo is alone at the top lane against 2, and therefore the Pumpkin Camp ends up in the hands of their opponent. Mr. Swiffer himself gonna try and clean all of this trash up from the lane here, especially the pumpkins. But at the bottom of the map, as you would expect with the level 10 abilities, we are seeing the play for the bell tower. Dehaka comes in, misses his ult, and it's a 4 versus 5 for the time being with a tether against, well, against TYRANDE. We have also the ult on Gul'dan already being used. And guys, how do I say this? They just got absolutely jack shit for this one. So now we're having a 5 versus 5, and Leo actually, as he arrives in the fight, says like, well, you guys don't really need me now, do you? And starts moving straight into the middle again. So that didn't really do a whole lot. That actually did pretty much nothing. Yeah, that's a lot of cooldowns used there. And I think with those pumpkins, we could see that bottom bell tower fall now. Leo is already pushing out the top lane and is saying like, hell, Dehaka, if you don't hurry up, then you are going to lose even more there. So, yep, there we have again the position with them pushing it out. And we have a single ult at the bot lane. So if you actually grab that bell tower, you isolate them completely. And they're going to try and fight for this. And Wit is jumping out. Could get stunned. Lauba has to be careful with this. Mosh pit, baby! And they get Gul'dan, and that's the only thing that you need here. Cleanse already being used against Tyrael, but as long as you get the Orc, you are fine and dandy. Gul'dan goes down, another 3-man power slide from ETC. Nice sanctification though, and the kill against the support. Go next. Respect, baby. They're actually getting some value here. And now we have Ty in trouble. Ty is already on the run, trying to get some value, get some combos off, uses Wave of Force, dodges the drag, and oh my god, he's still alive. Holy shit. Ty? No way. Trade value. Boom. Gets the kill against Tyrael, but gets taken down by Tyrael himself. What a fight! I can't believe that Ty still got so much value out of this. Gul'dan, by the way, is already back to business. That's how long this fight has already lasted. In comes Svamgrotta. Good isolation, but yes, there's another quick hit, and they might actually lose this. But what a fight! Alright, Fury. That was actually a smart... I'm honestly not quite sure what he was trying to do here. I honestly think that he was trying to zone him out. That he wasn't even trying to capture him, just making sure that he himself doesn't fall here, and that's, I mean, why not? They're fighting it again. Lauba comes in. Lauba wants to go for Gul'dan, and there's Leo with a slow Galaxy. Can they get the kill? Gul'dan gets away, and another 3-man slide any second from Lauba. Leo is down, but so is Rhaegar, and still the poke from Svamgrotta from behind. Another slide against Dehaka as they go in. Svamgrotta wants to have the channel, doesn't get it. ETC is down, so is Dehaka. What a bloodbath! The double stun, and Ty is down again. Henning is on the run, and he's not gonna make it. What an absolute slugfest. Oh! Oh, the sanctification is being used too, and he still gets damage, and he delays also the altar channel. Leo is back again. He gets so much value out of the trade, just spawning in position over and over again. Kelvin, what a fight! What a sick battle, and the channel finally goes through. And the 4 shots are fired, but what an unbelievable back and forth. I mean, seriously, guys. There's Fury, the stun attempt comes from Henning as they're trying to finally go for that bell tower, but this is insane. I mean, seriously, some of these guys were absolutely playing out of their mind, dodging shots all over the place, delaying the opponent's channel, right, just to force the fight a bit longer. Some heroes came back twice in that fight. Unbelievable. That was insane. That was honestly insane. And this one, so far not channel, but again, the only thing that Junkrat has to do is get 2 hits in and that's it. But damn, there were so many small things. I mean, it started with Li Ming dodging 4 or 5 abilities just to stay alive a little bit longer before she finally died, but buying a lot of time. And Leo, honestly, like him respawning in that position, won them the fight there for sure. No doubt about that. So once again, we're having still the action right there. Pumpkins are being taken down now before the altar ends up in the hands, or the bell tower ends up in the hands of Granit Gaming. So there's not going to be any shots fired. The Haka is getting top lane value now. And they're trying to go for Wit to at least deliver some damage. By the way, Gul'dan during all of this is currently only sitting at 24. Oh, that was a nice one. They can't get the kill, but still, that was a bit of a shocking moment for Galaxy, I'd say. Getting displaced there completely. That was pretty solid. So yeah, 24 stacks right now, 19 on the other side. Okay, another stun, another hit, another kill. Down he goes. Ty nearly dying, by the way. But yeah, now they have it. 9 kills against 7. They're currently looking at 16 in terms of talents. Up at the top, do we see an interrupt there? No. Well, actually... Oh, Skynox eats it. Eats the owl. 3 shots fired against 5, as we obviously have a little bit of an asymmetry here now in bell towers. Same time, down to the bottom of the map, we're once again seeing the little bit of play here, trying to push that out. We're already at this point in a 16 versus 16 situation. And Runa's Affliction is in, but the problem is Gul'dan is sitting at 24 stacks on his level 1 talent, so he's actually far away from getting his full value with the Echoed Corruption. And there's the continuous barrage just from grenades alone, and that's a huge problem for for Go Next, as they're obviously attempting to retake the bottom bell tower. You always want to go for this one, simply because you have access to 2 pumpkin camps here, and if those get towards the core, that's shots or points taken off the core the entire time. But fighting against this much poke with Li Ming and with Junkrat going into this is really difficult and nearly impossible, honestly. So it's going to be tough to take this back. If not impossible, to be absolutely honest here. I mean, it's just like, look at the setup here. And it's going to be rough for Go Next. I mean, they're going to fight back towards this. It's still pretty even when it comes to experience. It's basically also a bit of a mana question at some point, but so far they're still totally fine. And as experience is still taken on the rest of the map, it is tricky. Because eventually the level 20 talent is also going to drop into the hands of Granit Gaming faster, so an even exchange is absolutely okay for them. Yeah, there's more poke, a little bit more poke also from Gul'dan as he's trying to get some structure damage in. But this is a triple altar phase. Uh-oh, you can't die here. Whoa! Kelvin! Ward of the Wardens or no Ward of the Wardens? Without the Shield of Tyrael, he's dead. Without the Tyrael shield, he is definitely dead. And now we're looking at potentially 2 altars against 1, and that would mean 10 points off the core of their opponent. Yeah, Fury sitting around here, buying a little bit of time for the rest of the team to move in. Junkrat at the bot lane is already getting it. And as you can see on the minimap, Li Ming is currently trying to get a camp. So yeah, that's 5 shots fired. Now we have the pumpkins taken. They have to be dealt with eventually. 3 shots through the altar channel from Go Next. And now Fury is going for another one right over here. If the Haka moves in, he can interrupt, and he's too late. He's too late. The 5 shots are fired. The pumpkins make their way down through the bottom of the map. We're already looking at single digits. And if the pumpkins make it through now, that's another 3 eliminated. And they're going to, aren't they? Yep, they're going to start to move in. And that is 1, 2, and 3. 6 points on the core. This is really bad news now for Go Next. I mean, we have 26 to 6 points. And in addition to that, let's not forget that the lead in experience is heavily in favor of Granit Gaming. That level 20 would hurt. It would hurt a lot. They're trying to go for Kelvin here too. Yeah. Don't play too aggressive right now, but Li Ming has already retaken another camp. Tyrael is currently sitting here in the bush at the side. They're already saying, like, guys, pay a bit of attention. Not quite sure where exactly he is. Leo at the top is getting the experience for his team. But now they're going for the exact same MO. They're just trying to hold the bot lane. Hold the bottom of the map. Play around that. Don't make any plays that are too risky, and just have a little bit of patience, and you will end up in an advantageous situation anyways. Alright, so with this, there we have Wit again, starting to move in from the side. And he can't really do a whole lot. They take the pumpkins down, that's about it. So now we're having, with the bot lane pressure, still the 5. There's a channel that would put them on 1 single point on the core. So at this point, we have, again, typical normal setup here. Yeah? Kelvin is actually getting attacked on MAIEV and goes down. That's the kill. Horrify comes through, and they still all survive. Tai, they dodge the ult from the Haka. This should be the... Honestly, this looks like the beginning of the end. I mean, right now, Telu falls. That's a double kill, and they can go for boss after they go straight in for the channel. The Sanctification saves them for now. Lauber actually goes in with a mosh pit in the death zone. Tyrael and Rhaegar both fall, and that is going to be game. There is absolutely no way to play around this any longer. At this point, they're waiting for... They can either wait for the camp or they can go for the boss. I mean, either one is totally fine. They have the channel already here. They have the Siege Giant camp, but yeah, ETC even moves down to the bottom for the time being. Instead, they're going into the middle to get the kill against Gul'dan, and they drop another bell tower right there. And with that bell tower taken, they don't even have to take boss or the camp. They can simply go for the channel, and this is going to be it. This is game, ladies and gentlemen. This is going to be the 2-1 lead for the blue team for Granit Gaming in this best of 5 series. So 2 in a row and go next behind in the best of 5 now here at Division S. GG. Well played. Game number 4. Potentially the last game, ladies and gentlemen. We are on Cursed Hollow this time, and Granit Gaming has just taken 2 games in a row. They're getting a bit dismantled on Dragonshire, which was our first map in this series. And now Granit Gaming with the map choice, actually. Go Next have opted in for the first pick and first ban. And Cursed Hollow is already going to be interesting. I mean, honestly, at this point, I would think about an ETC ban eventually, because ETC is being played so consistently by Granit Gaming, and they're really good with it. And the problem is not only that they are good with ETC when Lauber plays in the main tank role, Fury is also solid on the hero, and that stage dive value is just annoying as hell. So I would not blame them whatsoever if they're just saying, listen, we're going to ban ETC out at some point, or maybe pick it for themselves. Then when we're talking Tyrael, Cursed Hollow is another map where through the bosses you can actually get a lot of value from a really good sanctification around one of the big important fights. So that's definitely an argument in favor of Wit and his hero pool here. There's an Arbiter banned out again. And yeah. Draft could be interesting. I mean, this is another map where you might even see Falstad. So he's occasionally being picked as well. So now with Zeratul banned out, it still leaves MAIEV open. Have seen a lot of MAIEV here. Again, Granit Gaming, ETC, TYRANDE, my opinion, is going to be set for them if they get their hands on them. Those are heroes that they rely on so much, that they're extremely solid with. It's just like what the safe base that they usually build in any kind of draft composition here. They're banning out Kelvin's HANZO, so he's not going to get the access to that. Another great tool if you're trying to fight around the boss and everybody is stacking up on the same point. There's obviously also a variation for Granit Gaming where they could again try and play around the Apocalypse with Diablo, but now that Zeratul is banned out, might not be happening here. And what's the first pick? What are we going to get from Go Next? Are they going to pick anything away? MAIEV taken again. We've already seen Kelvin commit to that on the previous game. Didn't quite work out for them. Then again, granted, they had a lot of damage potential there too and made a couple of really cool plays, but MAIEV was just not really enough for them to turn things around. So, what's Granit Gaming starting off with? TYRANDE ETC. Told you. Told you. Doesn't surprise me in the least. It's a solid foundation for them. They love to play with that TYRANDE. They can swap ETC over into the offlane position. They can play main tank. Depends a lot on how the rest now goes. What else gets banned out? If we have another global, if they need to go into a Dehaka. Or if they need another beefy frontliner. There's Johanna for Wit, and Dehaka gets taken for Taluf again. Alright. And let's see. That's actually a pretty good setup for them too. Now again, we don't see the Tyrael play for Wit, but his Johanna is pretty solid as well. And so far I like their setup. It's just a question of what's the damage now going to be. I mean, the main ones that we're looking at are still Liming, JAINA, and auto attackers are also going to be a bit more interesting. What's going to come through here, because Falstad again is still an option. But now we're having at least a global on the side of Go Next. That kind of makes it very likely that ETC is going to go into stage dive, unless, of course, they are willing to also commit to Falstad here. And both of the mages get banned out, which means that we're now having still an opportunity to see either Tracer or Ophir again. Both of them on the side of Ty are actually really good for him and could be played now. With Liming eliminated, there's no more resets. With JAINA, you have a lot of the burst eliminated now too. But we've seen in game number 1 already how good he is on Coffin Girl. And Tracer is up. And there's the bird. There's the bird. Falstad gets picked. And in this case, we have Muradin taken again. I honestly want to see if they swap it around and put Lauber on Muradin. He didn't have a good Muradin game number 1. Let's be honest here for a moment. That Muradin game that he had there pretty much sucked. It really felt like Lauber was still half asleep. He got punished. He got punished hard. Maybe he wants to redeem himself here. Rhaegar and Genji. Okay. Not quite what I expected from Go Next, but yeah. Rhaegar, Genji for them. And what's the last pick for Ty? Is it going to be a Tracer setup? Is it going to be another Orphea game? It could be the last map. If they don't force the 5th map out of this, it's going to be the final one. And let's see. It is... Hammer time! Alright! Hammer time for Ty on Cursed Hollow. Potentially the last map of the series here in Division S, our best of 5. Let's head straight in. Cursed Hollow, ladies and gentlemen. Map number 4. Game number 4, and Granit Gaming is in the lead. On the left side of the map, we're seeing Henning on TYRANDE, Svampgrotta on Falstad, Fury on ETC, Lauber on Muradin again, and Ty on Sergeant Hammer. Towards the right side of the map, Go Next with Galaxy on MAIEV. We have Toulouf on Dehaka, Kelvin on Genji, so a little bit of a swap around here in the heroes. Skynox on Rhaegar, and Wit with a Hold Your Ground on level 1 is once again playing Johanna. Straight for Jojo here. Alright, let's see what we're gonna get in talents. I mean, first of all, we have the perfect storm again for Muradin, as the little dwarf that is trying to get the stacks together here. We're having also immediate spread onto the map. But let's... Okay. Yeah, Fury didn't quite get the setup. Already the pings against Henning. Just saying, dude, where's my stun follow-up? And yeah, not in this case. They played it a little bit safer there. Talking about safe, the Iron Skin already thrown out early by Wit. But yeah, Lauber still moving around there. Yes, again, first game was a little bit dicey on the hero. Let's see how it works out now. For the time being, we'll see 2 stacks already for him. We're having Kelvin sitting there with Genji. Lauber obviously trying to get another Stormbolt, and just as he already goes for it, we're seeing the tongue connect and drag him straight into the tower range. But he connects the 3rd one regardless. There's potentially now a double... Oh, there's a good tether. That's actually a problem for Ty. Oh, that heal. Nearly the kills. Nicely done by Go Next. I like the aggression. I enjoy that. But good saves too. Now obviously with Falstad and ETC on the side lane, there's a very good chance that we're going to see a double global from Granit Gaming once that they have access to stage dive. With the tap that they already had down here at the bottom, we still see Stormbolt attempts from Lauber to try and get his stacks together for his baseline completion. Once that you have the cooldown reduction and the pierce, you're going to be much more valuable in a lot of these fights. So we're going to get there. But we're also seeing now Svampgrotta in the mid lane, still doing his work. He went for Wingman, so he's trying to get those together, those stacks together. Lauber again with the place down here has 5 stacks by now, so he's done with 20% of what he needs to get. Fury with Toulouf, still the little 1 versus 1 that we see at the top lane. But it's mostly with a focus on Hammer that we're seeing so far. As often, we need to try and go for the Hammer protect plays. Tether comes in again. But especially when we have the level 4 on the siege tactics, that's obviously another setup where you can play this a lot safer. ETC comes really into play here later, because his face melt alone, just pushing targets back from Hammer, is going to create a lot of space for that. And there's the level 4 abilities, which gives us again the reverberation that we have already seen. Okay, that's the same build that Lauber already used in the previous game where he played it. So no Sledgehammer for now on the level 4. We're having also, with talents now taken, the sudden vengeance on the side of MAIEV after she heads into the pursuit of vengeance. So yeah, there's a lot of attempts at vengeance here. And there's a lot to avenge because they got pretty much wrecked in 2 games. And yeah, after the early lead in the series, they obviously had high hopes to get ahead further. Maybe even take that 2-0 lead against their opponent and play around that. Well, not quite what we saw here. Nice! The interrupt against the drag, that was actually really cool by Fury. So the idea was obviously to drag the siege giants into the wave, into the turret range. But there was a perfect counter to that, an instant interrupt against it. And yeah, nicely played. Tribute is up and is about to be collected, but there's already the stuns coming in as we're seeing Muradin trying to zone. Bot lane, Hammer is still doing his thing too. Kelvin comes in and tries to take Svampgrotta down. That might actually even work out because there's currently no support there. Kelvin is actually low. Svampgrotta might fall, moves away, and Kelvin gets out too. But the bot lane value, despite the blinds that we have, Galaxy is nearly dead with 100 hit points. Wit is trying his best, but they are starting to lose ground here. And the longer the fight at the top lasts, the better for Granit. They're looking for that tribute now too. And there's the potential drag again against Muradin. He needs to be a bit cautious as well. False that is flying back in. And in the meantime, the 2 versus 2 setup at the bottom of the map is getting even more value. Dehaka from the side again. Hit after hit keeps coming. Yeah, but there's also Kelvin now. Genji is back to business, and that could be a kill. Lauber gets eliminated as the Swift Strike comes through. And that should be a tribute in the hands of the blue team, of the red team. Down here, on the other hand, the wall has fallen. And the wall is not the only thing that falls here. Yeah, Tai is pushing them back, gets the damage in again at the top lane. The tribute therefore still not taken. Henning low and also dying. But I'm still a little bit unsure who's actually taking lead in this. The kills obviously go over to Go Next, but the structural value is there for Granit Gaming. I guess at the end of the day, it will come down to how many bosses they can take at the bottom of the map. Because those bosses are going to have an easier time now that the wall is already eliminated and the fort itself has taken damage. So up to the top, it's still all about the plays here with this. Kelvin gets attacked. They're starting to go for Wit here. Again, the move back as Svamgrota is trying to get the hits in. Yeah, and moves away. For now, there's a channel from Wit. Bosses are finally on the map as we are 5 minutes into the game. Dehaka at the bot lane. Muradin is dead. Second death against Lauber. Yeah, Skynox with the channel, and they actually get the first one. Okay, so that's a bit of an advantage for them. Obviously, in terms of talents, we're now also having to give him the axe. Lauber still preferring that talent over the Skullcracker, which is now, after the last patch changes, actually taken quite a bit. So we've seen that already claimed multiple times right now, since the extra increase on the third damage from 70 to 90% has been introduced. And here's still Hammer doing the value plays. Now keep in mind that Tai's setup is going to become extremely difficult to deal with, especially after level 16 when the Giant Killer comes in. But already you have a ton of damage against this. And as I said, this is the problem. If the boss is taken regularly, then the boss is going to get insane value. Now 12 stacks for Muradin as we're having the tribute spawn at the bot side. Camps are taken from Rhaegar. One of the reasons why we see him more these days is that he obviously has that value that he can give with his camp clear that he provides to the team. In terms of builds, still the setup against the bot lane, and Tai is already zoning this now. So obviously this is one that you want to fight if you can. Level 10 abilities aren't ready yet for Granit Gaming, but they're so close that it shouldn't matter. There comes, Rhaegar. Level 10 still not ready. Are they actually going to get this for free? Nah, there's the 10s. Okay, so the 10s are in. Muradin already has his. There's the stage dive as expected. Mighty Gust. Stormbolt actually misses. Lauber has to go in a little bit deeper for this one. Uh-oh, someone's in trouble, and that's an Ancestral just as Tai gets the ult out. ETC hasn't jumped into the fight just yet, but he could still. There's the channel. Muradin jumping in deep. The cage already in. Lauber might be in trouble. Wit for sure is, and might fall, but gets the Iron Skin out, as we are seeing Dehaka nearly getting wrecked by that little encounter there. Tai now controlling the space with Hammer quite nicely as Fury and Lauber are creating some space for him, and they get the tribute easy peasy. 3 kills against 0 in favor of Go Next, but a 1-1 when it comes to the tribute count. So far so good. And the stack process obviously going quite well for Granit Gaming on Muradin's side too. The same goes for ETC, who currently holds 12. Svamgrota moves away. Does the tether connect? Yeah, he's gonna fall, isn't he? Muradin is trying to save him, but there's the X-Strike. That's the kill. Lauber also in trouble as we're having Wit moving in too. Henning is trying to make sure that he survives as much as he can. Another jump out, and they actually keep him alive here. Another slide, a little bit of damage, a little bit of poke. And in the meantime, Hammer still holding the experience here. But an aggressive Go Next. Like it. Aggressive Go Next setup that we'll have from them. Another tribute spawning. And again, it comes down to the curses, it comes down to the bosses, especially with the damage at the bot lane. That's the important one right now. That's where the boss is going to move from Granit Gaming if they take their own at the bottom of the map. Lauber, the flank here, once again. Waiting for the Stormbolt, sitting at 90 now. It's not bad. 8 minutes into the game, it's a pretty decent amount. Right, Drax out on the tongue. In comes also ETC and Svamgrota as well, both of them. And that's a great position for Granit Gaming for this particular one. It's a fantastic position. You can't invade into this. Not against Hammer. Oh, too well protected for sure. So that's a freebie. They're getting this one easy peasy. Essence already popped from Toulouse. He was attacked by 2 here in the middle. And that gives them the lead. Top lane, that has to be... well, someone has to deal with that. I was actually expecting Falsa to fly in or someone to get this, but that's a lot of EXP that they just let slide. But they go for the boss instead. Alright, they let the EXP be EXP. They still have all their ults up. They're going for the boss, and as I said before, with that wall already eliminated and that thing already down to half HP, these bosses are going to be incredibly important. And they're more important right now for Granit Gaming than they are for the opponent, simply because you will get more value out of this. So it's an even exchange when it comes to that. But this is going to hurt. Stormbolt is currently not connecting, or in this case the Hammerang. But this is something where you can't really... I mean, they have to defend. You can't outpush this. You're not in a position where you can do that. They're trying to go for the Haka again. And the Stormbolt actually doesn't connect here, but that stun does. And now with the Essence being used, he might still be in trouble. Okay, there's the ult. There's also another move. Stormbolt misses again, but that particular fort is already gone. At the top side, ETC is trying to make sure that they defend a little bit easier against this. 13 talents are ready, and that's why Granit Gaming is letting up for now. Flies mid lane to get the experience that's currently being dropped there, even moving top side to maybe see if they can do something against Galaxy. But as you can see, that boss is nowhere near getting the same value that we're seeing on the bottom of the map. This one still drops the first one, gets a couple of damage points on against the fort as well, and up to the top lane. This is barely going to be taken out, but that's about it. So the position for sure is better. And he has to fight now for the tribute, and this one is literally going to be the one for the curse if it's getting taken by Granit Gaming. Big ult from Hammer. Nicely done also once again from Swamp Grotto with a great wind tunnel. ETC jumping in for the hit and the slide. Everybody is low already, and Ty is controlling that space easily on Hammer. Easy peasy. One auto attack at a time. They go for it, but Murden misses the last Stormbolt. He's at 20 stacks right now. They're trying to go for Galaxy. They're zoning the two of them out completely, and that's the death of MAIEV. That's the death of Johanna. And Taluf is actually still sitting around here. I'm amazed that he did not already retreat, because that could literally be the end of him as well. There's the curse already, and they are starting to push this in aggressively, especially Lauber. Misses another Stormbolt. Third one in a row now, but they still go for the Haka, for Rhaegar, and they get him. Talking the Haka, he would love to get the kill against him too. Bot lane is suffering even more. Guys, this is getting rough. This is getting really rough. Falstad is flying in. Another Stormbolt into the bush this time. Not really missing, just checking. And they go for the staggered death. There's still a question if it's really worth it to chase him the way that they do right now, but they're going to get the kill for sure. And with that, they have now also the fort at the top lane about to be eliminated. The bottom has still taken damage, especially the keep. They start to move back in again. They have the globals right now. One keep is down. Might have been able to get a little bit more even, but Granit Gaming is looking pretty solid with this. I mean, for now, we are seeing them just take one wave after another. They have level 15.5, a lot more than that, and they now get the fort in the middle of the map as well, as Lauber with a bronze beard. Rage is going straight in for this too. ETC at the bot lane, on the other hand, gets annihilated, as it's a 5-man that's headed his way, but it doesn't really make too much of a difference right now for them, because they have done too much damage already everywhere else. Bot lane keep has taken damage. Top lane is not guarded anymore. The keep is wide open. Bosses on any lane are going to do a solid amount of work now, and all of the retreat spots have been eliminated by their opponent. Very good setup for the rest of the game for Granit Gaming. Now, so far, the problem has been that the 5-man was just too strong for GoNext to break through, and I have bad news for all GoNext fans here. It's not going to get any easier. I mean, you look at the level 16 talents, and as we said multiple times, once that you have especially access to the Giant Killer, you can imagine how this is going to go. Ty is going to murder in these cases, and the question is just simply, how do you deal with Hammer? And you can't just simply rely on a bit of blind from Johanna. That's just not going to be enough. They're trying to jump in right now. Okay, that could be a good move here. We go for Hammer again, and, well, Ty's trying to get out, runs into 3, and is likely to fall here. Actually still alive, gets the ult out, and still trying to get the kills in. And they start to move through. Unbelievable that he is still alive, and now he's starting to get the attacks in, and that's the Giant Killer value that they need way from the distance. Just look how low everybody is. Kelvin is nearly dead. ETC, on the other hand, falls first. They're trying to get at least a kill against the Haka, and I guess they're going to get this one. But it's an exchange. It's a 1-for-1. With ETC falling, Wit already moving away, and I guess the dog goes down after all. Let's have a quick look at the boss. 29 seconds until that one's still back up. They have to defend the bot lane now anyways, so we might actually see the boss taken next. Tribute spawning in 17, but honestly, if they want to go for boss right now, they can definitely claim it. 17 seconds, if they want to wait around long enough for it. I think it's unlikely, especially with them already orientating themselves to the top lane. False at holding the bottom of the map. But this is rough going for Go Next. 6 kills against 6. In terms of kills, it doesn't look bad. Yeah, here comes Mirrodin again. He has the baseline obviously already completed. Ty is zoning that out again. False that flies in, and that's going to be another channel successfully completed from their perspective. So they can't go for the boss at this point. They can maybe go for the bottom boss if someone shows top lane, but right now they don't have the vision. And they're trying to go exactly there. They see the Hawk on the bottom. He doesn't count. He has a global. And up at the top, Mirrodin gets attacked. Jumps. Oh, the blessed shield misses. Oh, that's bad news. And Mirrodin is still sitting around here. He knows what's up. So, yeah, both bosses are going to be taken. But as we said before, you look at the bot lane and what do we see? A keep that is already incredibly low. So, yes, it's a boss for a boss, but a much better position now for Granit Gaming once again. Both are taken and then can now push in with this. Question is just simply, how much is that top boss going to get? How much is the bottom going to get? Now, the keep is going to fall at the bot lane. That's a given. Question is just simply, do you catapult that towards the core? Do you try and save your own keep at the top? Already a bit of damage against Kelvin. I'm gonna say a little bit of damage. He's nearly down to half HP at this point. Then again, Lauber is also not looking too hot either. The isolation comes through and they can't save him. ETC slides in though. Nice Ancestral. Great Ancestral. And the boss is still up. But now it's questionable if they can go for the core with this. And all the way up to the top again. That's going to get value too. Down here on the other hand. Wit is low. Wit is low. Wit is low. And he might fall. And Rhaegar saves him. Rhaegar with a save, but now the keep is falling and everybody is starting to suffer on the side of Go Next. It's a problematic situation for them. And with Hammer, they're now starting to move in, and there's just shots fired the entire time. Ty is sitting in the back, and he is murdering them in terms of HP drops. The boss at the top lane is going to get a lot of value now, too. They're isolating Johanna, thanks to the Mighty Gust here, but they're trying to get more, and that's the defense. The defense is there. And honestly, this might actually backfire against Granit Gaming, because now at the top side, this one is going to fall as well. So it's an even exchange. This is not good for Granit. Granit was ahead. They were severely ahead, but now it turned out to be an even exchange. Svamgrotta with a mini bunny hop here. And Kelvin still wants him. Oh, it's too late. The channel from Taluf and Go Next is coming back into this. Slowly and steadily, they're coming back into this. ETC in trouble. Stage dives away. That's a short stage dive, bro. He might still fall. Or might not. Wit all of a sudden is a little bit far out. That stun didn't connect. But yeah, it's a bit of a chaotic situation here as everybody is trying to capitalize. The double global obviously is going to help Granit Gaming, but at this point they're starting to move straight in for Wit and try and drop Johanna. Oh, another big one! And the Ancestral keeps Wit alive. The problem is there's way more to consider right now. Yep, they're going straight in with Lauber. He looks for... Oh, he actually gets dragged in. We have MAIEV already eliminated. Lauber, can he land another Stormbolt and set something up for them? It looks like it. They go for the Haka. They try to body block him, but he has obviously now also the burrow. Level 20 is in, and there's the Unstoppable Force right again. Cooldown reduction. Pretty hefty one at that. So yep, no rewind for him. Actually, I would say rewind would still be a really good option at this point. Ice Blade Arrows, Nexus Frenzy. They have the auto attack damage and they go straight in for the kill against Jojo. Jojo is dead and now there is an open path straight to the core. They go for the second keep, they drop that as well, and now another Stormbolt as we have the Haka in a world of pain. Gets pushed out by Fury. They try to take him down here. Kelvin! Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo! With a BM pause right there. Not quite sure if the BM is intended here, but damn, dude. I mean, 2 heroes down, 1 on the run, and there's Hammer already sitting on the core 18 minutes in. That is an interesting pause to drop here. I mean, that's a 3-2-3 moment if I've ever seen one. Oh, trying to go for the flank here, but oh boy. Genji hasn't taken his ult just yet. We now have the Contagion. There's also the Rewind. And again, the Radiating Faith. But damn, that pause comes at an interesting moment in time. Now at the top lane, we still have double catapult pushing in, so that has to be considered. There is another tribute on the map now that nobody is currently taking. There's double global, of course. Fawcett has been attacked too. Damage output right now, 80,000 damage on Hammer, and there it is. Now they're starting to make the play, and they go for the core. Slowly and steadily, they're trying to take that out. Taluf is already getting punished heavily by Hammer every single time he moves into range. There's another Stormbolt coming through, another slide, another burrow. The shield is gone. The core is losing HP too. They're trying to end this with a 3-1 victory here. 4 back in the game. Johanna still missing. They're zoning that out. 48% on the core. Another set of damage against Galaxy as he's trying to go in with MAIEV. Kelvin goes in too. The mighty Ghast and Taluf is low on the left side. Everybody else is low on the right. Skynux is jumping in on Rhaegar, but Dehaka falls and so does the dog. Both of them down, and that is the end of this series. Granit Gaming dropping the core and annihilating them on Cursed Hollow. GG and well played as Granit Gaming takes a 3-1 victory in the best of 5.